Cristiano Ronaldo is a hero for many people today because he is very successful and famous in the whole world right now. But his life started with a very deep and quiet sadness in a small house on a lonely island a long time ago. By the way, if you like the video, please subscribe to my channel for more inspiring and very emotional stories every single week. The little boy was born in 1985 on a small island, and it was in the middle of the dark and big ocean. His family was very poor, and they were always hungry because they did not have enough money for food every single day of life. His father was a gardener, and he worked very hard, but he had a very small salary for his many children and his wife. His father had a big problem with alcohol, and this problem made the entire family feel very sad and very quiet for many years. Cristiano was the youngest child in a small home with his brother and his two sisters in a very poor part of town. He shared one room with his brother and sisters because they did not have money for a big and comfortable house back then. The house was very old and the roof was broken, so the cold rain came inside their bedroom very often in the winter. This was a big hole in his heart during his childhood on that rainy and very lonely island in the country of Portugal. The child did not have any toys or a bed of his own to sleep in during the long and cold winter nights. But he had a football, and that ball was his only true friend when he felt alone in the big and scary world. Cristiano played football on the streets every day until his small feet were very tired and very sore at the end of day. He played until the sun went down and the world was dark, and everyone else went to their warm homes to sleep well. He did not have expensive shoes, and he often played with old shoes that had many big and very ugly holes in them. Other children were sometimes very mean to the boy because his clothes were very old and also very dirty for a young boy. They saw his poor life, and they laughed at him very loudly when he tried to play with them on the street alone. They called him the crybaby because Cristiano cried when he lost a football game or felt any pain in his small body. This was a very painful blow for the young child who wanted to be a hero for his poor and very hungry family. But he used that pain to build a fire in his heart to become the best football player in the entire world today. He wanted to save his poor family from their very difficult and hard life, and he worked every day to be the best. His mother was a very brave and strong woman, and she worked as a cook and cleaner for other people to get money. She worked 2 jobs to buy food for her children, and she saw the great talent in the feet of her young son. She knew that football was the only way to save the family from the cold rooms and the hunger every day of life. At age 12, the boy left his mother and his home to play football in a big and very busy city far away. He was only a child, and the big city felt very scary, and the people there were not very kind to the boy. The other boys laughed at the way he talked every day, and they made him feel very small and very lonely in Lisbon. Cristiano felt a deep loneliness in his small room every night, and he wanted to go back home to his mother's house quickly. He called his mother and cried every night, but she told him to be very strong for the whole family and stay there. She said his dream was more important than his fear, and he decided to work harder than every other boy in the city. He went to the gym while the other boys were sleeping, and he practiced his skills under the streetlights every single night alone. He was not just playing for fun anymore. He was fighting for his life and for his family's future in the big world. But a very dark tragedy was waiting for him when he was 15 years old and living in the big and busy city. Doctors found a serious problem with his young heart because it was beating too fast even when he was resting in his bed. The doctors told him he might have to stop football forever, and this was a terrible blow for his young and dreaming soul. Without football, he had no future and no hope. But Cristiano chose to be brave and have a heart operation very soon. His mother waited in the hospital with a broken heart while the doctors worked on her young son's heart for many hours. The operation was a big victory, and he was back on the field only a few days after the surgery was finished well. His heart was fixed, and his mind was stronger than ever before because he knew he had a second chance in his life. In 2003, his life changed very suddenly when he played against the famous team called Manchester United in a very big match. He was so fast and powerful that the manager took him to England to be a very big and very famous football star. Cristiano was now a star, but he stayed very humble and he worked like a machine every single day of his life. He stopped eating sugar and junk food because he wanted his body to be a temple of perfect and strong health always. He remembered the thin boy he used to be, and he worked until his muscles were very strong and very big for football. In 2005, his father died because of alcohol problems, and this was a giant hole in his soul forever and very sadly. Cristiano loved his father very much, but his father never saw him become the king of football or win big gold trophies. He stood at his father's grave and promised he would become the greatest legend in the history of the entire world today. From that day, he decided to never touch any alcohol again to honor the memory of his father and his poor family. Behind the fame, Cristiano does not have any tattoos because he gives blood to hospitals to save sick children every single year. He remembers being a helpless child with no money, and he uses his wealth to stop the tears of other people today. Once, he paid for a baby's brain operation without telling the media or the news at all because he wanted to help. He believes that a good heart is the only real wealth, and he stays kind like the boy from the small island. He turned his broken dreams into a golden kingdom, and he never stopped giving to those who are in need today. He remembers the days on the island when he did not have enough money to buy even a small piece of bread. He always remembers the sound of the rain hitting the broken roof of his old and cold house in the very dark night. He remembers the face of his mother when she was tired from working 2 jobs for the children every single day and night. He remembers his father's voice, and he feels a deep sadness because his father is not here to see his big success. He uses this memory to work harder, and he never takes a day off because he wants to stay at the top. He teaches his own children that life is not easy and they must work for everything they want to have in life. He tells his son that money can go away, but a good heart and hard work will stay with you forever and ever. He shows his fans that a person can come from nothing and become a legend if they never give up their dream. He is the king of the field, but he is also a man who has many scars on his heart and soul. His life is a story of a boy who was too poor to buy toys, but too strong to lose his big dream. He cried many times in the dark, but he always found the strength to get up and keep running toward the light. When you feel like the world is against you, remember the crybaby who became the best in the history of football. Remember that a heart problem cannot stop you, and losing a family member can make you even stronger than before in life. Stay strong and stay kind like Cristiano, because the world needs more people with a golden heart and a strong mind. He is the man who had nothing, but he gave everything to the world, and he will be a legend forever.